Coming up on today's Cowboys Report, the 49ers, I would argue mostly, maybe a little bit not so much, but I think it's pretty much mostly, have helped the Cowboys with some contract stuff. We'll get to that. And we'll mention Von Miller signing with the Washington Commanders. Before we get to that, we have some new hires here at Chat Sports overall. Want to give a shout out to one of them. First up, it's new hire Casey, who's a big time fan of the Cowboys Report. So is his brother Ben. Happy to have you watching, Ben, as well. So Casey and everyone else, and you'll see plenty of them throughout the show here behind the scenes over the next couple months. Type welcome for me in the comments section of today's show. Appreciate you, Casey. Get back to the rest of the training, my man. Let's get into the remainder, the real stuff of today's show. Alfred Collins signed last night with the 49ers. He was taken one pick before the Cowboys took Donovan Ezeiruaku. This should lead to some breaking of the seal, so to speak, for the second-round rookies, including Ezeiruaku. Schefter tweeting this out later last night. That's Central Time, by the way. Next big domino in the second round has fallen. Niners second-round pick Alfred Collins, 4-year, $10.3 million deal. Over $9 million guaranteed. And Schefter's right. That should trigger multiple second-round signings. Until now, 30 of the 32 second-round picks remained without a deal. Collins will have 88% of his deal guaranteed, a huge jump over last year's number 43 pick. As we'll get into, I don't actually know if huge jump is the way I would describe it there. But here's the good news on this. The Cowboys have a very good feel for what's fair, what's reasonable for for his camp to ask for and expect out of the contract, and it shouldn't be too hard to get this done. And the Cowboys haven't had many issues overall with second-round picks anyway. The bad news is, and it's not really that bad of news, it is a little bit more money than what the Cowboys were expecting to have to guarantee pre the Texans screwing this all up by giving Jaden Higgins a fully guaranteed contract. I would anticipate, and I'd be a bit disappointing if it wasn't, but he can still do the waiver stuff and still participate if he doesn't. I would expect Ezeiruaku to sign before training camp. So do you think that happens? Y for yes, N for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's show. Sound off. Y for yes, N for no. As of filming, and filming this early Thursday morning, we'll see what else happens in the next 12, 24 hours, depending on when you're watching, whatever. Carson Schwessinger, Jaden Higgins, and Alfred Collins are the only 3 second-round picks who have signed so far. Now, just as Mosquito does some good, mostly Packers stuff, but good NFL coverage overall, tweeted out, 88% is $9.06 million. Last year's 43rd pick, that's Max Melton, got $6.9 million and only signed for $8.87 million total, which is just the pure contract they go up each year. And this is in reference to Mike Florio claiming caved, which I don't know if that was against the Niners or Collins, but Collins' deal moves the market over 30% in guarantees. Now, I do want to say one thing. That is the total guaranteed growth. 6.93 to 9.06 is 30% more in guarantees. But in terms of what percentage of the contract from this year's deal to last year's deal with Max Melton, it's only about 10% in terms of all the rookie contracts go up because the salary cap's higher, it's scaled. So it's only about 10% relative to the salary cap each year. Because, again, rookie contracts go up each year with the cap. That's just how it works. Vet minimums go up each year with the cap as well. That's how it's built in the CBA. But that is still a pretty notable growth for Max Melton, or for Alfred Collins. Some notable draft pick guaranteed monies last year. Kamari Lassiter, that was pick number 42, had very similar to Max Melton, first 3 years fully guaranteed, part of year 4. Jackson Powers-Johnson had the first 3 years guaranteed. Then there was a quick fall off. Edgerrin Cooper, one pick later, had the first 2 years guaranteed, some of year 3. Jonathan Brooks only had the first 2 years guaranteed, which right now looks really rough for him because he's, again, not healthy. This is different for the Cowboys. Their last couple rookie contracts, they've done the 2-and-2 model. And that's been the case for a lot of the mid to late round 2 picks. The first 2 years are guaranteed. Then you're out of the guarantee. You still get your signing bonus stuff, so that's fine. Luke Schoonmaker was very similar. He and Nealon were pretty similar contracts or I should say where they were drafted. Nealon was 56. Schoonmaker was 58. This was Max Melton's contract, who, again, was the 43rd pick last year, just like Alfred Collins was the 43rd pick this year. First 3 years, fully guaranteed, $50K. It was all that was guaranteed of his 2027 salary. Alfred Collins, the numbers go up overall. Everything's bigger because the salary cap's gone up by like $18 million this year. He's going to have, based on what Schefter said, like the projections, I haven't seen the exact figures yet. It's going to be around $1 million. Might be a little bit less than $1 million of his base salary. Might be a little bit more, but roughly that $1 million price point should be hit for what is going to be guaranteed in 2028. The Cowboys should have already been planning to give the third year of Donovan Ezeiruaku's deal as a fully guaranteed deal. And then last year, Jackson Powers-Johnson did not have anything guaranteed really into 2027. He just had the first 3 years of his deal guaranteed. That is probably going to change a little bit now with Alfred Collins. Instead of just doing first 3 years guaranteed, you're going to get a little bit extra money on top of that. Again, we'll go more in depth on this here in a little bit. But this Cowboys hoodie is on sale. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. So you'll see it. It's a Fanatics link. Go click it. Was $55. Now it is just $33. It is not worth wearing a hoodie in July unless you're, a crazy person. But stock it for your fall wardrobe. Again, link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's the Cowboys hoodie. Was $55. Now it's down to $33. So with Alfred Collins signing, we know what Donovan Ezeiruaku should roughly get. He should get at least a 10% uptick over what the Jackson Powers-Johnson deal was in terms of total guaranteed money. That's what Alfred Collins got. Now, he's maybe in the right to ask for a little bit less overall guarantee. That is a difference because Jackson Powers-Johnson had a steeper fall off than what Max Melton got the year before with Collins now signing. He can maybe ask for, maybe instead of just the 10%, which, ends up being a couple $100,000 maybe asks for like 95 or, 950 guaranteed. Not quite $1 million like Collins. Asks for a little bit more. And then you meet in the middle. Here's the big thing. We are talking about maybe $1 million total guaranteed money of what you're going to haggle over. That is it. No NFL organization, no team should ever let $1 million impact, okay, well, we're going to have to guarantee him an extra $1 million. If we miss on the pick, we're going to have to pay that. Who cares? That's chump change for NFL franchises for the way the salary cap operates these days. Do not ever let that impact you. So, we'll see what the actual negotiations look like, how hard of a stance Ezeiruaku's camp takes and the Cowboys take, but this shouldn't be an issue to get done. This one, with Collins now signing, Cowboys in his camp should be able to get Ezeiruaku's deal done before training camp gets going. So with that in mind, and Ezeiruaku's made comments that he wasn't going to hold out. You can do pretty sure you can do the waiver stuff if it comes to it, so it shouldn't be a big deal. What is your excitement level over Donovan Ezeiruaku? Scale it for me from 1 to 10 in the comment section of today's show. Some second-round picks, then, with where things sit. 3 of them assigned, obviously. Nick Emenwari, that one is still going to be tricky because he's going to ask for the fully guaranteed. I don't know if he's going to get it. The Browns and Quinshawn Judkins now have a problem because he caught himself a case. So what the hell is he going to do? I don't know. And how does that impact Jonas Savaiinaea? I think it's actually a good thing in the end that Collins has signed because it kind of like, you don't have to wait for 35, 36, 37, 38, all the way down to 43 signed. 43 signed. Now you can go. Niners report a little bit early. I think in the end it is a positive thing that the Niners got that deal done with Collins. Now the Cowboys can move forward. We'll have you covered here for everything on the Dallas Cowboys. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button at youtube.com/@CowboysTV. We will have plenty of training camp coverage for you right here on the channel. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. As promised, before we go, I do want to mention the Von Miller signing since, I think we had a mailbag question about it last week that I'll keep it in there. And there was someone else was mentioned too, so it's fine. The Commanders are signing Von to what is reportedly going to be a 1-year deal. I haven't seen contract details yet, but Vaughn announced it overall. This is worth mentioning since it is an NFC East rival, and I think it does make sense for Von Miller. Von's taken the Justin Houston path to his career where he's going to go be a mercenary edge. He's going to sign for a contender, try to win a championship, and really probably not play much run defense because he's like 36 years old and it's not who he is anymore. Commanders also makes sense. Like, I think they're in a pretty solid spot. Like, they could use another pass rusher. They're like, Cleveland Ferrell playing real minutes opposite Dorrance Armstrong, real snaps, I should say, is not what you want on passing downs. Doesn't mean I'm worried about Von Miller, though. He's not what he was in his prime. Great career, probably ends up being a Hall of Fame player as well, but he's not. I'll give you some sacks, but like the double-digit sack days are gone, and I don't think they're ever going to return. Like, it's 6 sacks last 2 years. He was better in 2024 though, but those quarterback hits are kind of going in the wrong direction too. Like, it's just like you've seen the decline overall with what Von Miller has at this point in his career. He just doesn't have the same juice, the same ability, the same stuff you want to have out of a top-tier edge. But for the Commanders, it makes sense. Probably better than some of their depth options and secondary pieces, but I think they'll be fine in the end. So before we go, the final question of today's show. Does Von Miller in Washington actually worry you at all? Or is that like you're not concerned about it, you think it's going to be fine? Let me know in the comments section. A for yes, B for no. Sound off right now.